Hey everybody, it's me, Shell360. Sorry I didn't start out with a clap. I'm drinking water. It's important to drink your water, especially because in my household right now, one of us has a sore throat, and depending on how things turn out, there may be COVID in my house. I don't know. We're waiting to take the test. But yeah, drink your water, kids. It's very, very important. But that's not what I'm on here for. I'm not on here for talking about drinking your water or warning you about COVID. I mean, you already know what it is because it's affecting everybody. Instead, I want to talk about just how 2021 just sucks. Or how 2022, I'm sorry. This feels like we're still in 2021 because things just continue to suck. Oh my gosh. So last day of 2021, Betty White dies, which is some bullshit. It's just like, are you fucking kidding me? This is how we're gonna end the year? This is how we're gonna end the year? We're in 2022 and already Bob Saget is dead, the father from Full House. Matumbe is dead. He died today. And if you don't know Matumbe, if you're familiar with like old school hip hop, if you've ever heard Notorious B.I.G.'s Juicy, that beat is from Matumbe. He had a song called Juicy Fruit. So, or is it Mtumb? I think it's what it is. But anyway, yeah, 2022 already showing its ass, already sucking, already just horrible. Peter Bogdanovich died the other day. Yeah, this is just what the fuck is this year even? What the fuck even is this year? The Queen is still alive, you know. So yeah, this year obviously is not fair. And then K-pop decided to show its ass the last couple of days as well, because in the last couple of days, Jay, formerly of Day 6, I'm assuming, formerly because of his actions, I guess now that he's not with JYP anymore, I feel like maybe he's just like, I can do anything because I'm not with JYP, even though he had told his fans, whoever are his fans, that even though JYP was not his future anymore, that Day 6 was still something he would probably be a part of, that he would probably contribute towards. Anywho's, yeah, his post Day 6 life, I guess he decided to rebrand himself on Twitch as being like, I guess, edgelord, incel bait. I don't know what the fuck's going on with him. But he gets on Twitch and he makes this statement where he says, now that I'm not in K-pop anymore, can I ask why Jamie's trying to be a thought? And then proceeds to giggle and laugh. And then someone in the comment section says Jamie is a baddie. And he says, Jamie's a baddie? Aren't baddie and thought the same thing? Isn't it the same energy? And proceeds to laugh and says, oh, Jamie's gonna be mad at me. Watch her get on the chat and call me and yell at me. And then I guess realizing that, you know, people in the chat are not as thrilled about him calling Jamie a thought as he thought they would be, he proceeds to talk about, oh, she's a vocal beast and she's this and she's that, and she's amazing and we're best friends and oh my gosh, I love Jamie so much, and you know, this is just the way that we play. Which is hilarious because when Jamie gets on Twitter, she's like, a what? And she's like, I know this person whose career I've supported since before Day 6 does not have the nerve to get on Al Gore's internet and tell people that I'm a thought. Like, I used to pray for this man, and this is how he's going to do me. And, you know, it really sucks that in order for men to get ahead, they've got to disparage women. And so I guess overnight, Jay realized that, oh yeah, people aren't really liking this. People are not receiving this well. Maybe I've made a misstep. So he does this apology, and the apology is like, I didn't realize I was saying something bad. It was just friendly banter. I never mean to hurt Jamie because she's my friend. Yada, yada, yada. But the thing is, like, first of all, your apology makes no sense because if you thought it was friendly banter, if you really and truly thought that thought and baddie were the same thing, first of all, you need to know what baddie means. And baddie means something completely different than thought. Thought, I remember when thought first became a word people were using, it stood for that hoe over there. That's what it meant. So basically, you're calling somebody sexually promiscuous. Whereas baddie is like, wow, she's a bad bitch. She's like super beautiful. She's like got the flyest clothes on, her hair is laid, like her skin is glowing. A baddie was considered a beautiful person, like somebody who everybody wants to get with because that girl is bad. And so, yeah, it's these words don't mean the same thing. And also, if you really thought that calling Jamie a thought or saying she's trying to be a thought was the same as trying to say that she's a baddie, you wouldn't have said, now that I'm not in K-pop anymore. Because the intention when you say, now I'm not in K-pop anymore, is that now that I don't have a company that's going to get mad at me for saying reckless things, I'm going to say a reckless thing. It's not compliment energy. Because if it was compliment energy, be like, hey, yo, that Jamie's a thought, man. She looks great. That's how that would have gone. It wouldn't have been, now that I'm not in K-pop anymore, why is Jamie trying to be a thought? That's how I said it. So, it doesn't make any sense. If you really thought you were complimenting her, you would have come at her with a completely different energy. But you didn't. You came at her with this mocking, shitty energy because you are a failure. You're a failure. Like, that's the whole reason. The only reason why he even came at Jamie with that energy, even though she wasn't on the stream, she wasn't in the chat, they weren't talking to each other on the phone, she was out living her best life, getting her collaborations, making her money because she still has a viable career. While she's doing all of that, he, in trying to profit and get attention off of the friendships that he made and not off of his own endeavors, decides to drag her name through the mud in order to get people talking. And it's just like, don't you have anything the fuck else going on for you? Sir, you are almost 30 years old. You will be 30 in September of this year, my man. And at 30 years old, practically, actually Korean age should be, what, 30, I think already? At this big age, you don't have anything the fuck better to do than to take somebody else's name and run it through your dirty, filthy mouth. You don't have anything else to do. I noticed that people aren't banging down your door to try to get you to sign with them. I want to say that after Jamie left JYP, she had a whole record come out. Like, she had projects. She's featured on things. When the members of GOT7 left JYP, they signed to other labels. J Park snatched up a bunch of them. Who has snatched you up? Nobody? Nobody? Nobody wants you? Nobody wants a 30-year-old former idol? Interesting. Do you think that maybe the reason why nobody wants you is because your reputation precedes you? Maybe it's because people could see from a mile away that you were on that bullshit, and that's the reason why nobody wants to hire you for anything, and you're going to need to make your money off of these Twitch streams? You'd have done better, instead of shitting on Jamie, you'd have done better to become like a K-pop celebrity gossip. For you to be somebody who like does K-pop blind items and just eke out the rest of whatever you have left of your K-pop career and just use that to make money for the next couple of years and then gracefully bow out. Instead, you picked on a girl who has done nothing but support your career, a girl who's done nothing but encourage you, a girl who maintained a real friendship with you when probably you never deserved it because she felt like you needed the help. When you were taking breaks from Day 6 because of your mental health, when you were doing all these other things that maybe weren't really the classiest thing ever, it was like, okay, well, maybe a lot of other people wouldn't hang out with Jay. Maybe a lot of other people aren't interested in keeping the lines of communication open, but Jamie did. And you immediately throw her under the bus. Why don't you throw Eric Nam under the bus? Why don't you throw Big Matt under the bus? No, it's got to be Jamie, because it's got to be a woman. That's who it's got to be. You are a failure, my guy. You are absolutely a failure. And then you know you did wrong, because on the stream you're like, oh, Jamie, don't sue me. I'm broke. So then a broke bitch like you shouldn't be allowed to open your fucking mouth. How about that? A broke bitch like you can't afford to put people who get paid's money in your mouth. Maybe you need to shut the fuck up. Huh? How about that? Maybe you need to shut the fuck up. Because any thought you had that you were going to parlay your post-JYP experiences into money, you broke them. You haven't even been out of JYP for more than a week. God damn, it's been a week. In a week, you managed to throw everything away. I don't know what kind of mental health crisis you were going through before, but maybe you need to check in again. Like, seriously, maybe you need to check in again and try to figure out why it is you're so fucking self-destructive. Because, like, I legitimately believe something is wrong with you. I almost feel bad talking to you this way because in my heart of hearts, I really and truly believe something is wrong with you. Like, there's something inside of you that has never properly matured. There's something inside of you that even at this big age, you're still in a child's place. You're still in a teenager's place. And you need to grow the fuck up. You need to grow the fuck up. This ain't it. And it speaks more to the fact that, like, not for nothing, American Idols be letting me down. Like, left, right, and center, American Idols be letting me down. Because I feel like there's this weird place that American Idols occupy that is, like, so on the edge of offensive, but so on the edge of inoffensive that it just makes me personally uncomfortable. Having Jay say all this wild stuff about Jamie, it's uncalled for, it's uncomfortable, it's gross, it's stupid. But, like, in the past, we've had American-born idols just do stuff that is just like, why would you do this? And then you have to think about sometimes, like, their motivations for going to Korea. More than one American Idol has gone to Korea and said, I came here because I knew I'd be a novelty. And I knew that people would see me differently than they would in America. Because America's fucking xenophobic as shit. In America, we don't treat Asian Americans fairly in terms of, like, seeing them as people. Instead, we see them as stereotypes. Instead, we see them as math nerds, science nerds, future doctors and scientists. We don't see them as humans with flaws and humans with other talents. We don't make them a big part of pop culture. I remember when like a G6 came out and people were like, oh my gosh, Far East Movement, what is this about? And it was like surprising that there was this Asian hip hop collective making popular music because we had, like, pushed them out of pop for so long. So you have these individuals who look at American pop culture and say, yeah, my guy, this is just going to be too hard work. I don't really feel like I have enough talent to, like, really make it in America. So I'm going to crawl over to Korea. And because I speak English, they're going to treat me a little bit different. I'm going to be seen as, like, a little bit exotic. And I'm going to make my fortunes there. And I think at this point in the game, Korea's starting to get tired of it because even international fans are starting to get tired of it. We're starting to get tired of when people leave their company, the first thing they want to talk about is how every Korean who was born in Korea is such a robot and such a tool of the man, and so this and so that. And, like, honestly, if you were to listen to the way that American Idols talk about Korean idols, you would think these were white people talking about Korean people because they talk about them as other. They take that same kind of xenophobic attitudes towards Korean idols that Americans take towards Korean Americans. And I won't even say Americans, I would say non-Asian Americans take towards Asian Americans, because black people are not always fair to Asian Americans and white people aren't always fair to Asian Americans, so it runs the spectrum. But yeah, it's just one of those things where, like, time and time again, American-born idols who make it big in Korea seem to constantly be putting their foot in their fucking mouth. And I'm just getting tired of it, guys. I really am. Like, I feel like there's only a handful of American idols. Not even a handful. There's, like, maybe 3 American-born idols that I'm like, you go. I'm looking forward to seeing good things happen to you. Like, I see it for... I've always seen it for Ailey. Because even though Ailey was friends with Amber and that whole subunit or whatever, she kind of still kept to herself. So I've always seen it for her. I've always seen it for Tiffany from Girls' Generation, because Tiffany, I feel like she got handed a bad rap because of that whole Snapchat filter thing. But at the end of the day, she's kept it sweet. She's kept it classy. She's somebody that we can still, like, lean on and be like, that's our girl right there. And that's it. Like, I feel like I can't, right now, any other names escape me. I really can't. I really can't. Because, like, in one way or another, these American-born idols be letting me down. Like, I think about fucking Jessie. I think about fucking Jessie, who goes to Korea in order to blackfish. Like, seriously, there's no fucking way that Jessie thinks that her appearance would ever be acceptable in the United States. You know, pretending to sound like Lil Kim, inflating her ass with these basketball shaped implants, blowing up her lips, these huge, kind of like uncomfortable looking chesticles she's got going on. And yeah, it's all in an attempt to get this kind, and that super leathery looking tan. All of this in an attempt to look more ethnically ambiguous, to maybe look like she might be biracial. She's biracial. Anyway, yeah, Jessie would never in her wildest dreams attempt to make a career in America with that look. Would never. But in Korea, she can live out her greatest black girl fantasies. And it's sickening. It's gross. It's really fucking gross. Um, let's go back to Jay from day 6. Like, he's almost 30 fucking years old, yet and still he acts like he's all of 16. Like, his demeanor, his voice, the way he dresses, the way he does his hair, the way he holds himself. Like, he really does act like a teenager who's allowed to cuss. That's it. I think about Jay Park and his black fishing in Korea. Like, not saying that he wasn't doing that shit in America, because I have no doubt that Jay Park was one of those like Asian kids that hung out at the black table and like was like, is dreadlocks a good idea for me? But yeah, he said so much stuff about how like Americans and black people are K-pop fishing, or like we're like trying to steal from K-pop, and it's like, how is that possible when so many black people are the genesis for the style that K-pop is built upon? Like, shut the fuck up. But yeah, he said all kinds of straight up crazy shit since he got into K-pop, and it's just like, Jay, don't you get tired of performing these mental gymnastics? Is this what keeps you from putting out another decent R&B album? I think about Amber and how she had the nerve to say that this man who was harassed by police for eating outside of a train station should have just complied with police officers. And it's just like, Amber, I know that you don't always live in America full time, but like, police brutality is a really hot topic right now. It's on the news all the time. Why would you open your mouth to say some shit like this? Why would you open your mouth to say something if he had just complied shit? Like, the whole reason why it's a story is because people were like, there's no rule against eating. These officers were just harassing this man. He wasn't even on the train platform. He never should have been approached to begin with. This really sucks. And your answer is, well, he should have just complied. Go all the way to hell. Go all the way to hell. Seriously, just go fucking jump off of a rock. And yeah, I'm sure there's other people that you guys all have instances of why you don't like things, but it's just one of those deals where like, yeah, I don't see it for American born K-pop idols. No matter the scenario. Like, the Canadian ones, I feel like I can kind of vibe with a little bit, but these ones, oh, well, not even the Canadian ones, because Chris Wu was Canadian, right? And then went to China and was just an absolute abject monster. Like, what's going on with Chris's situation right now? Just asking, like, I know that he's basically been deleted from the Chinese internet, but does anybody know if, like, he's going to court anytime soon? Has anybody given any updates as to his actual criminal status at this point? Because I'd like to know. I'd like to know if he's under the jail. I'd like to hope that he's having a great time in prison, because the things that he has been accused of are honestly horrific. He's accused of using his celebrity to convince young women to sleep with him, based on the fact that he's not only famous, but that they're fans of EXO in particular. And their bias is finally reaching out to them. Oh my gosh, once in a lifetime. I'm beginning to really have nothing but bad feelings for American born idols. I just wait for them to show their ass. That's all I do. I just wait for them to do something crazy. I think Johnny from NCT is American. Correct me if I'm wrong. Sorry, I need to blow my nose. And I can't even like him. Like, I want to like Johnny, I really do, but I can't, because I'm just waiting for him to leave NCT and say something that breaks my heart. because I feel like that's what happens. I feel like that's what happened. I think I still like Big Matt. I think I still like Big Matthew. But yeah, it's wild in these streets. But Jay, if you really are intent on building your brand on being a K-pop bad boy and saying all the most unpopular opinions, come with something different. Like, pull a Jessica and write that tell-all memoir, but with like these names are changed to protect the innocent type bullshit. Or, say something like really real. Tell us about whether or not JYP is actually involved in some weird church cult in Korea. Like, do that instead of this. Do that instead of this. Like, real talk, there's so many other ways that you could drum up attention based on your time as an idol and your friendships with other idols that have nothing to do with being misogynistic towards a woman that's done nothing but support your career. Like, seriously, come up with something else. You could do a book like Jessica did. You could tell the truth about how music videos and albums and shit are made. You could walk us through the entire process. You could talk about like the craziest things you've ever heard a stylist say to an idol. You could talk about, how do they take care of unfortunate personal events in K-pop. Like, seriously, you could talk about like, I know this one idol that got pregnant and the company took care of it. That kind of shit. That's the kind of shit, if you want to talk reckless because you're not in K-pop anymore, those are the things that your audience would like to hear. And if you want to talk about that, let's talk about that. If you want to talk about the uncle fans who spend great deals of money to bribe managers to get them dates with idol girls and with idol boys, we would love to hear that. We would love to hear about sponsorships in a real way. You could talk about how many people have approached you about sponsorships. That's the kind of shit that we want to hear. But you talking about, why is this one over here trying to be a thought? No one asked for that content. No one wants that content. It's lame. It's tired. It shows that you don't have anything better to talk about. Maybe the reason why you can't talk about some of these more interesting scenarios is because you're so fucking lame and uncool that no one let you into the back rooms to see what was really happening. You can at least talk about like what it is that K-pop companies have established as like damage control scenarios. That's something that everyone wants to know about. All of us want to know, like, given this situation, what is the standard protocol for damage control? This is the shit you could do. If you want to tell us like how idols date, who calls dispatch on purpose, that kind of shit is the shit we want to hear. We don't want to hear you telling us that you think that Jamie looks like she's promiscuous. No one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that. And if that's what you're going to build your post K-pop career on, you're going to find yourself extremely lonely, because there's only so much of that shit that you can do before people don't want you anymore. And it's unfortunate that you're so fucking stupid. Not unfortunate that you made these decisions, because that's you wanting to ruin your own career. Jamie's coming out of this smelling like roses. If anything, this is a boost for her, and people are absolutely on her side. But for you, this makes you look stupid. So it's not unfortunate for you. It's fortunate for her. It's not unfortunate for you. But it is unfortunate that you're so fucking stupid and short-sighted. It is unfortunate that you don't have the good sense God gave a dog. Like, you just don't. It's unfortunate that you were handed such a golden opportunity to be a part of a group like Day6, and you managed to squander not only your money, but you also managed to squander your goodwill. It's unfortunate you're that damn dumb. But that's it. Nothing else. Because this is the kind of shit dumb people do. What's unfortunate is that you're dumb. It's not unfortunate that you did dumb shit, because that's what dummies do. And you just proved that you are an absolute fucking idiot. So live with that. Enjoy that life. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about his situation, because there's nothing really more to say. I've never been a Day6 fan, so I can't even talk from the place of a Day6 fan. I think they're called My Days. All I can say is, if you are a Day6 fan and after Jay left JYP, you thought that Day6 was going to do another album with Jay, damn, it may be time to rethink that plan, girl. Like, that might not be a possibility anymore. You might be mistaken, because there's a really good chance that JYP will specifically say, we will not allow you to use the name Day 6 if you invite this man onto this recording. But then again, you know, JYP is not the shining he's not the shining example of, you know, being gender fair. So who knows? He might see this as nothing. But JYP doesn't like scandal, and if he thinks that people don't like Jay, then he's going to tell him that man has to stay home if you want to do another album using this band name. So, 'tis what is. So yeah, that's really all I have to say is just fuck that guy, and I hope his career goes nowhere, and I hope that he is not only sad that his career goes nowhere, I hope he's bitter and does a series of live streams talking about how the internet ruined his career and how cancel culture is such a problem in America and across the world, and how cancel culture ruined him, and he's gonna start a movement against cancel culture. Like, I hope that he goes down that fucking rabbit hole, because that's some shit that dumb people do, and so I'm expecting him to do more dumb shit. Go back to school. I know you're almost 30, but go back to school. Like, all the years you spent in a band, you should have spent those years also getting like a halfway education. Go back to school. Go back to school. Find something the fuck else to do. You're almost 30, but you look 15. Maybe you can go back to school and trick somebody into thinking you're a young man and start your life over again. Start your life over again. But this was a bum-ass move made by a bum-ass dude, and we're not surprised, we're not shocked. Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. Alright, so let's go on to this. This is my SMCU Express. I ordered these winter albums from Catch Up CD the day that they were available on the website, because they had sold out everywhere else, and Catch Up CD was the only place that I could find them like right away, so that's where I got them from. And I bought the SM Town, like the big version, and then I bought a Red Velvet version, and I bought a shiny version, even though they're not calling it the shiny version, they're calling it the Onu Ki Minho of shiny version. Okay, all right, I'll bite, sis. Anyway, I literally only bought this version because it had all the groups, and then I bought these versions for photo cards. And the shiny one, my luck wasn't great, so I've ordered 2 more copies because they're doing a reprint of these. If you haven't already pre-ordered, you need to. They're doing a reprint of these on several of the K-pop websites, so I've ordered some reprint, hoping that I'll get them, because yeah, my card pulls weren't great. But this is fun packaging, I have to say. I was dubious about this when I first unwrapped it, because I'm like, this is literally a cardboard box, sis. Like, this is literally, it's a cardboard box. It's a cardboard box. But then I was like, you know what? Let's just be honest. There's going to be people who are going to buy 20 copies of this for the photo cards alone. So let's just go ahead and give them a fucking cardboard box. And if they want what's inside, cool. But let's not spend a lot of money on the exterior, because a lot of these girls don't even care what these albums look like. They just want whatever's inside. So you open it. It's got this little window right here. And then you can open it some more. And then there's your contents right there. You don't have a track listing on the front. You have it on the side, so that's where your track listing is. I'll be very honest with you. I know I heard some of these songs during the SM New Year's concert, but I have not listened to this CD at all. I'll pull it up on Spotify eventually, but I've been busy listening to everything else but this. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. But this is the front of the book. This is the back of the book. And then it comes with random things. So because this is the SM Town version, meaning that it's like for all of SM, it comes with a series of long posters, which is interesting, but also I kind of feel like it's a waste. Like, why couldn't they just do like one huge poster? So you get these long posters of all of the different like main groups. So this is the Super Junior long poster that comes in there. Then you have this one, which is the Red Velvet long poster. And these are like super duper glossy. Look how they shine. They're like super glossy. Then you have this one right here, which I believe this is this Kai? I don't know. I'm trying to see. Yeah, this is Kai. All Alone. The lone representative of Exoplanet. Then you have this one right here, which is all of the DJs at SM, which they didn't do anything to like make this look nice for them. They gave them a disco ball and a turntable and some amps. Then we have the Onuki Minho version, which is very pretty. This is gorgeous. I wish this was on a bigger poster. And then we have the OGG version, which is this right here, which is very lovely. This is actually quite nice. Then we have the aespa one, which I'm not happy with. Okay, this is the aespa version. Notice how there's 8 figures here? It's because they made aespa pose with their AI figures. Why? I know you want this to be a thing, SM, but fetch is never going to be a thing. Quit trying to push this narrative on us. Nobody wants this. Fuck out of here. Man, I wish they'd quit trying to push this whole AI thing on us. Okay, so next we have one of the NCT subunits here. I'm not sure which one this is. I think this is Dream, maybe? I think this is Dream. These look like some very young people here, so I think this might be Dream, but I feel like there's too many people for this to be Dream. Maybe this is Wavy. I don't know. I can't tell. Then we have another NCT subunit here. This must be NCT 127. This looks like this is NCT 127 here. It's very nice. It smells like glue. And then we have here Kangta, which SM, I appreciate the fact that you are very loyal to the older idols that are still on your label, but who's hanging up a poster of Kangta? I mean that with my whole fucking heart. Who is hanging up a Kangta poster in 2022? I digress. I hope SM does this every year, though. This is a lovely package. And then we have the queen herself, Boa. She looks amazing. I love her. And then, let's see, we have one more here. Who is this? Oh, TVXQ. Here we go. We have Changmin and Yuno of TVXQ. So yeah, those are all of the long posters that come when you buy this set. And I'm not mad. I think it's fine. But I wouldn't have wasted money printing a Kangta poster under any circumstance. They gave Kangta like 2 solo songs on the New Year's program. It's ridiculous. And then this thing comes in here, which is it's the lyric sheet for the album. So it's like all the songs and their lyrics. And then on this side, it's got like an SM family tree of some sort, but it's also like an SM subway station thing. I don't know. It's Isuman and his whole SM universe stuff is really getting on my nerves. You get the CD. This is the front of the CD, the back of the little envelope that it comes in, and it's a plain silver CD. Why spend money on something that no one's ever going to play? Because everybody listens to stuff on streaming services. And then finally you get this long poster, which I can't even put this on camera all the way because it's so many pieces, but like it's every SM idol that was on the New Year's program in a literal, like, all across your bedroom poster. I don't even know. Like, really, what does SM expect us to do with this? I mean, I'm an SM stan, but like, this is unwieldy. But it's part of our package, so we'll take it. And then the thing that you guys are probably the most interested in, whose photo cards did I get? These are the photo cards I got. And I'm sad, not because I dislike NCT, but because I was really, really hoping to get a shiny photo card. I really, really wanted to get a shiny photo card so bad. And I mean, I feel like somebody might be willing to trade this for Minho, but that day hasn't come yet. So yeah, this is what I got. And the pictures inside are just pictures from their little subway cars. It's nothing to write home about. So yeah, that is the SM full SM Town version. Now we're gonna open the Red Velvet package, which look how thin that is. But like also, this is perfect. Like I never knew that I wanted this until it arrived in the mail. I am obsessed with this. First of all, it's so thin, which means that shipping wise, this was so easy to ship. It barely increased my shipping cost at all. But two, think for a minute, like if you have flimsy magazine packaging, right? You put it in this cardboard envelope that's nice and firm. You can slide this onto your shelf so easily. It's so super low, slim profile. Like this is fucking amazing. I actually really, really dig this packaging quite a bit. So we're going to open it up here. It does have a sticker. That's the only thing I dislike about it is the fact that it's got this sticker. But the sticker is not like super sticky, so I didn't have to like tear at it in order to get in. Inside of this packaging, you get several things. It's actually jam-packed with stuff, surprisingly enough. So it comes with a poster, and the poster is a member poster, which I guess that's good, but it would have been nice if it had been a group poster because this is the member I got. I got Joy, and there's nothing wrong with Joy. Joy's fine. This actually reminds me of her Queendom card. Joy's fine, but I think a group poster for the group package would have made a lot more sense. That's just my opinion. And then inside of here, you have the CD hanging on by a flap, which is no one's favorite packaging, but it is what it is. And then behind the flap, you have the inside of their subway car. And then this whole photo album is just like pictures of them in their subway cars. So it's like close-ups of their face, pictures of their outfit, pictures of the scenery. This is nice. But like for some of the subway cars that we saw in the subway, like the SM version, like Kangta's subway car barely has anything in it. The DJs, their subway car has barely anything in it. I can only imagine what several pages of their photo books must look like. It must be super boring. Yes, this is a compilation CD. And then inside of there, you get a postcard, which is a group postcard. So that's the front. This is the back. And then you get one of those SM advertisements. And I want to say the SM advertisement has a code. Yeah, the SM advertisement has a code for Superstar SM Town if you play that game. And then you get a photo card. And this is the photo card I got. I got Sulgi. And I'm super happy I got her because she is my Red Velvet bias. Actually, it came with 2 photo cards. I also got this SM like subway pass photo card too, and it's also Sulgi. So I had good pulls for this one. I was very, very excited to see her twice. But I do wish that I had her poster because I like her. She's my fave. But also just because like I really wished it was a group poster. That would have been really cool. So I'm gonna put this back in here, and then we'll open the Onuki Minho of SHINee version. I think I got a paper cut. Oh no. How'd I do that? Yeah, I think I got a little paper cut on my knuckle. I guess that's the only bad thing about like this super slim profile is that you can get a paper cut really easily. Oh. And my little postcard fell out. Gotta get that out the way so that I can get everything in here. Ow. That hurts. Yeah, I think I got a paper cut, y'all. Oh, I hate paper cuts. They're the worst. Do y'all hate paper cuts as much as I do? I hate paper cuts. They're one of those little inconveniences, kind of like stubbing your toe, except for they last a lot longer. Like a paper cut takes days to heal, and it's always in a place where like you continuously tend to knock against it. It's like you're constantly feeling it at like the worst, most random times. Ugh, they're the worst. Okay, so this is the SHINee one. And I'm just looking at them, and they look very similar in the front. The only thing that's different on the front of these is what it says on the bottom. So like Red Velvet's has an R, Shiny's has an S, and then the passenger names are different. But that's really the only thing that's different about these two. And then like the sticker on the back. That's it. All right, we're opening that up. We're taking all of our stuff out. Let's see if I left anything in there. Nope, got everything out. So this one, again, member poster on this. And the member poster I got is Onew. And don't get me wrong, this is actually a really beautiful poster of Onew. And Onew has been trying to bias wreck me lately, but I wanted a Minho poster. And then I got 2 photo cards in here. I got this Onew subway pass, and I got this Key photo card from Bad Love, which I kind of wish that this was the photo card that was in the Bad Love packaging, because it's his stage outfit and it's the one that he wore when he performed Bad Love on the New Year's program. But that's okay. It's not a big deal. I'm not mad. But I do wish that I had gotten Minho's card. So if somebody is trying to trade, you know what I got. And then this is the postcard. So I didn't think that a lot of people would want to trade. Like there might be some people, there might be some Key fans who'd be interested in trading his face card for Minho's face card. But I'm like, you know what? I think you just need to buy some more and hope that you pull him there, because that's probably the best you're going to do in terms of being able to get Minho's card. So yeah, I've got 2 more copies coming of this one, and hopefully between those 2 additional copies, I will somehow get Minho's card. So yeah, that's my first haul of the year, was my SM Town Express stuff. While we're speaking about that, let's talk about the concert, because the concert was on YouTube. I don't know why they don't leave it on YouTube. Like they show it for one day and then they private the video and you can't see it after that. They really need to let you buy it. Like honestly, this album is fine, but I'd rather have the visuals. Let me buy this concert. This concert was like 3 freaking hours. It was super duper long. A lot of it was like pre-taped and everything. But the concert was really good. I had a great time. Me and my friends group chat, live chatted. It was just amazing. Even Alondra, who was in Mexico at the time, like we all had a really great time with it. But yeah, Girls on Top. We got that's all. I know that there are some people who had a problem with Girls on Top. And their main problem was they felt like Girls on Top were making noise music. They felt like the song sounded like an NCT song. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. And normally I'm not the kind of person who likes that NCT noise sound. But for these girls, it works. It really works. And I think the reason why it works so well is because it wasn't any of the girls sounding the way we expect them to sound. It was a nice area to push all of them instead of having them do the Super M thing. So when Super M's mini album and then the full album came out, we had a lot of discussion about like, this song sounds like an NCT song, this song sounds like a SHINee song, this song sounds like an EXO song, right? This, I think it's called Step Up. I can't remember because I haven't listened to the song in a few days. This song that they did, it doesn't sound like it's a Red Velvet song, or it's a BoA song, or it's an OGG song, or it's an aespa song. I mean, it's probably closest to being an aespa song if it was any of these groups, but it really did sound like something other for all of them. And because it was something other for all of them, it was really nice to listen to. A step back, thank you. It's really nice to listen to. I enjoyed it. I thought they all looked amazing. BoA looked phenomenal. Like, I know everybody else looked great. I thought Taeyeon looked really good, but BoA looked phenomenal. Like, BoA looked a smooth 5 years younger than she is. I thought Taeyeon looked really good. She looked really happy to be dancing, which I was surprised because she's not a big dancer. I thought that Hyoyeon looked great. It was a good song for all the girls, and I just really, really liked it for them. I thought it was a great look. It made me really look forward to a project album from them. Also, I thought that Onew and his Ning Ning duet was really nice. I thought they sounded good together. Ning Ning is my bias in aespa currently, and I just want great things to happen for her. I thought NCT's stages were good. They had a stage with Giselle that I feel like didn't go the best for her. But I still thought it was a good stage. Hyoyeon's stages were surprisingly strong. Like Dessert and I forget what the other song was, but yeah, her stages were really good. I thought Boa's stages were nice. I thought it was nice that they gave Boa 3 solo stages. They gave her only one, which they had Shitaro from NCT dance with her. That poor baby. Like, I don't think he made even 2 seconds of eye contact with Boa the entire time. Like, he just like, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. Like, he just did not, he could not look at her. But they also let her do Better, which I thought was really cool of them, and they let her do Woman. So I thought that was really nice that they let her do 3 separate songs. Of course, letting her do 3 songs mean they had to let Kangta do 3 songs, but it is what it is. Lots of solos. Wendy did her solo. Joy did her solo. Changmin did his solo. Yuno did his solo. I was disappointed that we got Joy and Wendy, but we did not get the Sulgi Irene stage. Like, what the fuck was that about? Like, I don't have many complaints about the SM New Year's concert, but that probably is my one complaint because I was like, okay, if we got Wendy's solo and we got Joy's solo, then it stands to reason we're gonna get Sulgi Irene. And my hope was we were gonna get a Naughty stage. Like, that was the dream for me. I'm like, Naughty got paid dust. Maybe they'll decide that we should get a second bite at the apple. That did not happen. I was sad. So I don't know what the hell happened there. I don't know if like the footage got corrupted, if they didn't have time to film it. But yeah, that was a big disappointment. But I am glad that Red Velvet got to do Psycho and they got to do Queendom, because I was like, they're doing Psycho? Why don't they do their new song? And they did do their new song, so that was nice. I felt really bad for TVXQ. I really did. Yuno's song did not sound good. And I know it's the song he did with Sulgi, or that Sulgi was in the video, I should say. But yeah, Yuno's solo song did not sound good. Changmin's solo song sounded okay, but I remember listening to it and thinking like, somebody needs to let Changmin know that he doesn't have to holler the whole song. Like, I get that like his high notes are a big part of his life with TVXQ and it's what he's known for, but like maybe add a little bit more texture to the song by like starting out a little bit more mellow and saving some of the high notes for the bridge, or like for like an interest part leading up to the chorus or something instead of having to holler the whole time. I thought his song was good. I just think that like he's just doing a little too much maybe. But then, okay, so TVXQ started out with I forget what song they started out with. Oh, Rising Sun. They started out the concert with Rising Sun, which I was surprised because, wow, Rising Sun, that's a really old song, guys. It's a really old song. But then they had them do Catch Me. And Catch Me, one of the big parts of the Catch Me choreo is that they have like these armbands, these LED armbands that they're supposed to link arms and it's supposed to light up and it's a whole big thing. And this is a song that TVXQ has performed for years, and they've had different kinds of like tech arms in order to do this. The tech arms they had were like made out of fabric LED, and I was like, why did y'all choose this? Like the LED, it was like a LED fabric cage that they had like from the elbow down, but like the lights didn't always work all the time. Like they were in and out of working, and I'm like, this feels disrespectful. Like this feels like you have the better arms in storage because SHINee is taking us on a tour of the SM wardrobe closet. Why don't y'all pull out the good arms? Because you're filming this and that tons of people are going to watch it. So why not go ahead and pull out the good arms? But that was disappointing for them. Kangta sang 2 slow songs and it felt like fucking forever. Kyuhyun, Taeyeol, and Onu did a song, all 3 of them together, which was very interesting. And it made me wonder if like SM Breathes, is this SM Breath? What was the name of the SM? Oh, SM the Ballad. I was just like, if S and the Ballad comes back to fruition, like if they do another S and the Ballad album, I would not mind if Onu takes Jonghyun's place in the lineup as the SHINee representative, because he sounded really good. I thought he did a really good job supporting Kyuhyun and Taeyeol, and I thought Taeyeol sounded really good too. NCT had good stages. The only thing that was awkward for me is I really like Favorite. I think Favorite is a great song, and it's probably my favorite, my favorite song, like lead song that they did last year. But I cannot watch those stages. There is such aggressive, like, groin thrusting at the beginning of the Favorite choreography, and I just don't understand why that has to happen. Like, I'm not a prude. At least I don't think I'm a prude. But like the very beginning of the choreo, it's just them like aggressively grabbing their crotch and swinging it across the screen, and I'm just like, this. Some of y'all are what, 5 years old? This is inappropriate. But yeah, I really like the song, but the choreography makes it to where I just can't watch. I just really can't. I thought the two members of WayV who sang the English language song, I thought they did the best they could. It was a little dicey in the beginning, but they really pulled it off towards the end. I'm trying to think what else. Super Junior. I felt bad for Super Junior because Donghae is super injured. I think he's got either a hip or a knee surgery coming up soon, so he couldn't dance with Super Junior, and they really did like make Super Junior put all of their stuff in one bundle. Like they're like, do your medley, all the songs right now. So I was like, oh, kind of sucks for you guys, but they did a ton of songs. Like I think that Super Junior must have done like 6 or 7 songs, but like they did like pieces of songs. They didn't do the whole song. Okay. So yeah, I was just like, good for y'all. At least y'all getting out there. They did the DJ set, which Hyoyeon got a DJ set. That was really cool. I think they talked about how Hyoyeon stages were really good. Taeyeon had a couple of stages, I believe, but she had one stage that was like a winter ballady. It wasn't a ballad, like a winter mid-tempo jam, and she was like dancing, and they had this choreography where she sat on a tablecloth and they pulled the tablecloth across the table, and I was like, look at Taeyeon giving us her best Mariah Carey choreography, and I called it choreography because if you've ever watched Mariah Carey whenever she does All I Want for Christmas for like Dick Clark's Rockin' Christmas or any of these other shows, like literally she gives you all of the energy of somebody kind of just getting out of a coma, because she barely walks across the stage. She makes multiple people lift her. She does a little bitty shuffle, and then she's good to go. Taeyeon absolutely gave us more than Mariah Carey normally gives us, but she really did give us like the most low impact, I am not going to be breathing hard choreo she could, and I lived for it. I thought it was wonderful. But yeah, overall, I thought that the SM Town concert was a really good time. I think it's a really nice tradition. I hope that SM continues to do it. I know that they did it in 2020 into 2021, kind of as like, Corona's been kicking all of our asses. Let's just have one little last hurrah. But I mean, people watched that, and they had at some points they had almost 1 million simultaneous viewers on YouTube, and that's not even counting who was watching on Twitch, who was watching on TikTok, who was watching on Instagram, and who was watching on Twitter, because they streamed it in all those places. Plus, I think they may have also streamed it on some of the Korean websites as well. So like, they had a lot of people watching that SM Town concert. So it was a good look for them. And I think that it's a good way of getting people who aren't familiar with some of the older SM artists to be exposed to their calendars and be like, oh, this is actually not that bad. I wouldn't mind going on Spotify and listening to this song. I'm not sure how many people are going to go back and listen to Rising Sun, because even though Rising Sun is a classic for those of us who are into second generation, it does sound very dated. Very, very dated. And so I don't know how many people are going to go back to that particularly. But I could see a lot of people going back and listening to like old Girls' Generation. I could see people going back and listening to old BoA. Like, Only One, I could see people going back to listen to that song. That song's not that old. So yeah, I think it's a really good way to get people interested in the SM catalog. It was unfortunate that SHINee did not have a stage. Now, I don't know if the reason why SHINee didn't have a stage is because they didn't come to the broadcast as SHINee. Because, like, Onu had a couple of stages, Key had a couple of stages, and Minho, I believe, just had the one stage, but they didn't have any stages together. And I think it's because it's been hard enough for SHINee to take some of their older tracks and turn that into a four-man choreography, but I don't think that they are comfortable doing the three-man thing right now. I think they feel better kind of keeping it separate, and then when Taemin comes home, they'll come back onto this concert and they'll do a four-man deal. But right now, I think they're just like, no, we're gonna have to all do our own thing. Speaking of SHINee solos, because I really didn't talk about it that much, Onu and Ningning, I did talk about, they were really good. I also talked about Onu doing good with his triplet stage, but Key had two stages. He had the hate that stage with Taeyeon, which was really nice, and they were in their subway car. Not every performance took place in their subway car, so that was really cool. And then Key had a bad love stage, and his bad love stage was really good. It was really good. I think the dark hair with the blue crop top and the black pants, I thought that was a great look. Also, Minho did his heartbreak stage, which I thought was really nice. I didn't understand the whole driving the car for Yuno and Changmin. Like, there was some other bullshit that they had going on that were like transition pieces, and it was all very techy and weird, and it was trying to show how like all the different SM universes are intertwined. Nobody's got time for all that. Nobody wanted to see Isuman wearing a fake mustache and being the train conductor for the SMCU Express. Like, no one. But yeah, dry throat. I've got water over here. But yeah, nobody wanted to see Isuman wearing his fake mustache at all. But yeah, they had a lot of emphasis on the fact that SM is Kwangya. I think is their universe that they're trying to do. And yeah, that was their whole. Oh, I didn't even talk about Kai. I did not even talk about Kai. Okay, let me talk about Kai real quick. So Kai did the stage, which I'm like, I'm good with not having to listen to again. I'm okay with that. But he did his stage, and then he did his Peaches stage. Now, Peaches is a song I wasn't really into that much. I mean, I hate to say this, but I think Justin Bieber had the stronger Peaches of the year. No. I know. Shame on me. Like, because I don't even like Justin Bieber like that. But Giveon and Daniel Caesar were on Justin Bieber's Peaches. So, I mean, come on, Giveon alone. But yeah, didn't think I really liked the song Peaches. I really did like Kai's stage. And the thing that I liked the most about Kai's stage, weird as it is, I loved the costuming. I thought that the stage production and the costuming for his stage was really super nice. And it's something where I would love to see more like kind of traditional clothing elements be involved with Kai's whole deal. Like, I don't know. I just think they look really cozy and cool, and it's not like super traditional. It's like traditional, but a modern traditional look. I don't know. I just really dug it. I thought it was really good. I had a great time. I always enjoy the SM New Year's concert. The only thing I dislike about the SM New Year's concert, honestly, is when they do that one video where everybody's in t-shirts and jeans and laughing with each other. And, you know, like, we love SM. SM's great. We're so glad to be on SM. Like, that part, I can live with that. Also, let's talk about bullshit people on the internet. So, there were a ton of people who were super mad about the fact that certain idols weren't included during the SM kind of retrospective video clips thing. So they had this one clip in the show that was like clips of the trainee years of idols, and then them backstage, them at award shows, them on tour, them after they've won awards, like that kind of thing. And there was a ton of people who were mad about the people that they didn't see. So, of course, me being a Shawa, I heard a ton of people talking about how come they didn't have more clips of Jonghyun, even though they did have OT5 clips. But they're like, why weren't there more clips of Jonghyun? Then I heard a ton of FX fans being like, they made no mention of FX at all. They didn't show a single picture. That's so rude. And then I heard other people saying there wasn't nearly enough EXO content, which I totally agree with that. But yeah, like just people were pissed off on who they didn't see. And I'm gonna put it this, there are people who are mad that they didn't get more clips of Jessica, which I'm like, girl, what? Really? You think that's gonna happen here? And I'm just gonna put it to you this way. I think SM didn't feel like paying for clearance. You know, I don't know what the laws are in Korea, so I'm not even going to speak to that. But I feel like there must be something in the law in Korea, which is the reason why SM treads very lightly around the whole Jonghyun situation. Because they don't show a lot of clips of him. They don't talk about him very much. They're very sensitive around that. But I don't think they're sensitive. No, thank you. I don't think they're sensitive about Jonghyun because they dislike him or they're trying to erase his legacy from SM. I think it has more to do with the fact that the more they mention him, the more liability they are exposing themselves to if their mentions of him can be seen as disrespectful by his family. Like if his family was to say you are doing stuff that besmirches his name, disrespects his memory, whatever else, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. And I think SM, if nothing else, is a corporation and they're not about to take a lawsuit they don't have to take. And I think that's the reason why they just don't mention Jonghyun at all. Also, FX is completely disbanded. And SM was focused on the artists and groups that are still signed to SM. So like we didn't get big scenes of SES. We didn't get big scenes of HOT. Like we didn't get Shinhwa. We didn't get all of these former groups, the Grace. We didn't get that. Those people were not included in the retrospective. So anyone who was mad that we didn't get more FX, we didn't get FX because FX is not on the label anymore. And you have to understand that, like, a lot of people, the reason why we say second gen is because SM had a first gen. That's a whole thing. Just to be clear, we have second gen because there was a first gen, and Kangta was a part of first gen. They were very careful about how much of Kangta's old footage they showed. They did not show any Shinhwa, they did not show any SES, they did not show any The Grace, because these are not groups on SM anymore. And so if you're mad that we didn't get any Sully, I get it. But at the same time, they're just not with the label anymore. So you're not going to get them. But yeah, overall, it was a good time. It's one of my favorite traditions. I would rather spend my New Year watching that than doing virtually anything else in the world. And I really wish they would let us buy that concert. Like, they film it in 4K. So why not just let me buy it? Like, that was my main complaint after everything was over. I'm like, this was so much fun. I had such a great time. When can I buy this Kino? When can I buy this DVD? Because yeah, I would do that. See, No Fly to the Sky. If you're not currently signed to SM, they're not going to show you. Is a thing. But yeah, I would have bought this. I would have bought the one from last year. Honestly, in the last year one wasn't completely live, but it was like way less production. That's the one thing that we didn't talk about. There was so much money that was thrown behind this thing. Like, I remember how it looked last year. It was literally stages. Like, it was during the time that SM was like really getting into their whole Beyond Live thing. So they had every stage set up like a concert stage, basically. This was completely different. This was like cinematic interludes. This was different camera angles. They had the aespa girls dancing with their avatars. Like, they put a ton of production money in the sets that they did for this. And I'm like, if you're going to spend this kind of money, Lee Soo-man, why don't you go ahead and let us buy this on like freaking DVD, Blu-ray, USB, like however, let us buy this. Cause it just makes me mad that like they spend all this money, they play it for 3 hours, and then they just erase it. You can't even access it anymore on the internet. Like that's just so dumb. So yeah, I would really enjoy it if Essen would let me buy this concert. I bought this fucking thing. If I'm willing to buy this fucking thing, I'm willing to buy the concert DVD. I am. Anywho's, yeah, that's everything I have to say. Pray for me and my family. You know, hopefully all she has is a cold and not something dread. But yes, Stevie has been coughing since Saturday morning. Well, she woke up Saturday morning with like a super husky voice. And then during Saturday, she started coughing. Today, she's been coughing a lot. Yesterday, when she had her nap, she was sweating during her nap. So the hope is that all she has is the flu, but we are going to go and get her tested tomorrow. And I'm hoping that it's not COVID. I really am hoping it's not COVID because we have been so careful. Like, you guys have no idea. We have been so careful, both Stevie and myself. Like, I go to work, I come home, every single store I go into, it doesn't matter if it's the grocery store, the gas station, the Walgreens, if the store has 2 people or if it has 200 people, every place I go, I've been wearing a mask. About to sneeze again. Everywhere I go, I wear a mask. And Stevie has been wearing her mask at school all the time. We're constantly wearing our masks everywhere. Both of us have had our COVID shots. Yet and still, that doesn't mean we can't catch it. And her school was scheduled to be maskless when they were coming back from the Christmas break, but then they changed their mind and said they're going to wear masks through the end of the month. But yeah, I don't know how she would have gotten it. I'm not sure how I would have gotten it if I had it, but I'm just hoping it's not that. I'm hoping that it's just like the winter cruds and we just got that because I just have so much anxiety about COVID. I know, I know. We're both vaccinated, so even if we had COVID, the chances of us having issues would be very thin, knock on wood. But long COVID is a thing. And that has been, to me, the scariest part of COVID. Like, if I if we were to have to deal with that, the hope is that, you know, through medical techniques we could survive. But there's not enough research into long COVID just because it is so new. And they're saying that with long COVID, you know, they're talking about lung scarring, they're talking about, you know, extended loss of smell and taste. Just all kinds of shit gets fucked up. Like, it's one of those things that it takes you through the ringer for an extended period of time. And I really hope that that's not here. I really hope that that's not here, but we won't find out until we get tested, and hopefully our tests come back negative and everything will be cool. But yeah, normally I would not be scared of Stevie having a sore throat. I would not be scared of her having a fever because people get colds. It's a thing, but because of the big C word, I'm just so scared. Also because we didn't get sick last winter. I don't know how your last winter went, but like this past winter was one of my healthiest winters ever. Ever. And so, yeah, this is very scary. This is very scary. So, pray for me. And for anybody who wanted to hear about what I had to say about Jay and Jamie, I'm about to end this live stream, but just scroll back to the beginning of the live stream. I talked about that subject for like a good 20 to 25 minutes. So, if you want to hear what I had to say about those things, I talk about it very early on in this live stream. But yeah, here we are in shitty ass 2022, already a bum, already no good, already on that bullshit. That's the reason why I said goodbye to 2022 last year, because I just knew this year was not going to be much better at all. I need something to turn around. Like, I really need some other good luck to come to me because this year's been on that bullshit. Already. It's been a week. This year's been on that bullshit. It's been on that bullshit. I'm tired, y'all. Are you not tired? Are you not tired? I'm tired. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you are a person who likes to give good thoughts, prayers, best wishes, just, keep us in your thoughts and hope that Miss Rona has not visited my door. And I will talk with y'all later. Bye.